Hello, hello, it's Carrie, So Much Glitter. Welcome back to my channel. I am so glad to have you here. If you've not yet subscribed to my channel, please do so and turn on the notification button so you don't miss anything that's coming up, because we are switching over to holiday crafting as crafters pretty soon. But I'm probably just going to create for my self-care like I always do, but I love the holiday crafting. I want to make a little bit of announcement before I start my project today. It's regarding Crafty Critter, an Australian company. They are a fabulous foiling company, and they have papers and everything toner foiling. I absolutely love them. But if you follow them on Facebook, Scott did make an announcement last week. I've just been really busy with life and work and all of that, and finishing up kind of towards the end of my master's program. So they are no longer going to be shipping to the US temporarily because of the American imposed tariffs, and Australia is not going to be shipping out. So this is a temporary thing for them. It's expected to maybe last a few weeks to a few months. I don't think that they have a complete time frame on that. But with that being said, I am going to be using Crafty Critter products today, but please know if you're a foiler and you want to create something similar to this, you can do so with other toner foiling products. There's plenty of American reputable companies. You can look on Amazon if you want. I'm not going to tell you where to spend your money, but this is what I'm going to be using today because this is the product that I have, and I absolutely love this product. So come on in and join me around the craft table, and let's get to crafting. So what I'm going to do is I'm first going to turn on my Mama Mink, which is over here off to the side. I think you can see it. I kind of have to have it skewed because my table is not that deep, but I'm going to kind of go over just a few of the things I'm going to be using today for my card, which first is going to be a 5x7 card base, but you could do an A2 if you want, but this is what I'm going to be doing because this is what I had made, and I want to get as much fun foil in on the product as I can. And I'm going to be using some foil art, and these are happy birthday sentiments, so we always need the birthday cards, right? So I always like to make the birthday cards because it's fun to make and keep in my stash. You always need them when you don't expect them, or when you have them. You don't need them. When you need them, you don't have them. These are in different fonts. These are in different sizes. I'm doing a 5x7 card. This could be something that can go in maybe the inside of the card. These are toner printed, so this will foil right over it. So this is really nice. I don't know. I think I want to use this one, which is the first one that I showed. This one's really neat too, though. I think, okay, let's do that because I know the paper that I'm going to be using. I don't know if I'm going to put one of the sentiments in the cards. You know what? I just made that decision. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to set this off to the side. And this is just any foil art. If you, have access to getting that, or you have some of that in your stash. And then I'm going to use some of the decorative paper from Crafty Critter. I think that this is super cute. This is like outer space paper. They're going to have a out of this world birthday party. You can see the product codes and everything. So if you are in a country where Crafty Critter will be able to ship to you, you just kind of want to reference this. I still will put my discount code in the description below, because if you are not in the US and you're watching this and you want this product, you probably have access to that. So we have some fun papers here that are really outer space. Oh, this is really pretty. I really like that. So maybe that. I'm going to set that aside. This is going to be hot to the touch. I don't want to leave it here for too long. But I just kind of want to keep flipping through here. And then we start over again. I'm thinking I like this one or that one. So I don't know what I want to go with right yet. I have to scoot things off to the side so I have more room on my table to craft. I'm going to use the Hearts Silver from Crafty Critter, and this just comes in a roll. I really like it when they come in a roll because it's so much easier for me to store, and you can kind of get the gist of what it looks like and how beautiful it is, right? And so this is a sticker You'll just take that off. Excuse me, my throat is a little bit dry. I just had to do a presentation for school, so I've been talking for a little bit, and now I'm done, and I wanted to craft. I really do like their foil art backgrounds, and this one has a little space background in it. I don't think I'm going to use this today, but I probably am going to foil one because I want to have that in my stash on the ready, because I kind of have another project that I might want to do with this, but I don't know. I really like this one. I think that this is super cute. Super cute. And this doesn't have to be just for using with, you know, these paper sets in this foil. You can use them however you want. And then they start over again. These are single-sided. These are toner fronts. You could use this just once and cut it out, which would be really neat on the paper. I do like that. And then we have the end of it. So I think I'm going to foil this one because I thought that that was super cute. I don't know if I'm going to use a hearts foil with it, but I want to use a hearts foil with my sentiments today. So I do have my transfer folder. My transfer folder is well loved. I do have some foiling overage on here. Some of the other foiling queens are going to tell you to get rid of it, throw it away, it's no good. I can't find these anywhere. They used to be at Joann's. I think they're probably on Amazon, but I haven't found them for the price that I used to pay at Joann's, and they work perfectly fine for me. It does not interfere with any of my foiling. So this Crafty Queen is going to tell you that you can keep using it as long as it's not interfering with your current projects. So I think let's start out with foiling the sentiments. I'm just going to kind of put everything to the side. I do have a little bit of a smaller desk in here because I'm in a little bit of a smaller area because I do share some of my old crafty space with my daughter. So I am going to, instead of foiling, actually I could just foil this whole toner front. That's what I'm going to do because I want things in my stash today. I'm going to foil this whole toner front, and you know what? While I'm at it, I'm going to foil this whole toner front as well. And I did get out another foil for this. It's a Crafty Critta foil. I'm going to go ahead and take this out of the package as well, and that's what I want my sentiments to be on. It's the Rainbow Tight. I think it's perfect for celebrating, and it's going to match whichever one of these I want to use, which I'm kind of leaning more towards this one, but I don't know. So I'm going to get out my folder, which is the transfer sheet, and I kind of set that off to the side. And I do have special scissors that I use only for foiling. They're not special foiling scissors. I did get these at the Dollar Tree, but I've only used them for foil, so they work perfectly. I have an old makeup brush I got on clearance. I think I've shared this in a previous video. If you want to go check out my previous foiling videos, I kind of do a how-to on how I foil. I've been foiling for quite a few years. I'm not an expert perfect foiler, but you know, I do pretty well, and I do enjoy it a lot. So there's that. And I think I have space on here to do both of these at the same time. That's why I'm using my larger foil. You're asking what the brush is for. If you can see my Mama Mink, I do the whole Dusty, which is on the Foiling Snobs Club Foiling Snob Club's on Facebook, and it's on Nancy Stamp or Tracy Schultz YouTube channel. And she's like an expert craft foiling queen, right? So she is very particular about how everything looks and how the foil transfers. And although I want my projects to look good, I'm not going to necessarily obsess over them because I do a lot of vintage crafting as well. And I do a lot of junk journaling, and whatever doesn't transfer over perfectly, I do use on those projects, so nothing is lost to me. And I do have a fan going over here. I apologize. I'm in the San Diego area, and we are in the middle of a heat wave with a heat advisory. I just learned until I think like Tuesday or Wednesday. So we're going to be in triple digits for a little bit, which is not going to interfere with my pumpkin spice life or me decorating for Halloween, which I've fully been decorated for a little bit, but so we want to cut this just a little bit bigger than the, which I cut it a lot bigger, so I need to cut it down even a little bit more, but a little bit bigger than the card, right? So whatever we're foiling, we want just a tiny bit bigger. And we're going to do pretty side up, and this I can save for later. I'm not really that worried about it. Now I'm kind of wondering if I don't have room for both of these, but that's okay. I'm going to do the Dusty over here. I might need to move my fan. Okay, so I did move my fan in my craft room. Hopefully we won't get too hot in here. If I do, I'll have to move it back. And then I'm just going to Dusty both of them and put this pretty side up and put it as even as I can and lay this down and kind of smooth it out. And I'm going to feed it through my Mama Mink. It's going to be a self feeder. Like I said, I don't really have enough room on my desk to have this just laying right out in front of me and you can see it. So it is going to be off to the side. It's going to automatically start to feed through and I'm going to catch it on the other side. And this takes just a little bit. These rollers in here are really, really strong. I get pretty much perfect foiling and coverage every time I do it, unless if it's something that I did wrong. Like I think I fed this through here a little bit crooked. So that's on me. So it should not affect the way it foils, but if it wrinkles or something, then I'll know what I did wrong. And like I said, I'll continue to use it for something else or maybe even this project because I'm only foiling the sentiment. And I want to use the paper as the background. And I'm not really sure if I just want to do a solid background or if I want to kind of break that up a little bit. If I move my Mink, it's going to move my camera because it's right up against, here, I'll try to move it a little bit this way so you can kind of see it feeding through. See, I did put this in here a little bit crooked, so now we're kind of in a debacle. Okay, so I did have that in too compact of a space and I did kind of mess up my folder just a little bit, so we'll see what happens with the final project. But you just kind of wait till it cools off. It cools off fairly quickly. And then I'm going to peel it off. And so what it is it just wrinkled my paper a little bit because it is hot. So, I mean, it's not that big of a deal. But if you can see up close, kind of you can see like that, kind of how it shines. And I really, really like it. And don't throw this away. This is not trash. It's considered foiling waste. But if we have a toner front of a color or black, which Crafty Critta does sell, that will foil right on that. So it's pulling double duty. So we get double the projects out of it. And I just kind of set those aside. And now I'm going to foil this with the silver hearts. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. We had a little bit of a technical difficulty. I ran into my camera and it fell. So I'm gonna peel this off. Normally I don't have a problem with it over sticking these. So I'm gonna try to just kind of tear it. Oh no, back on itself. Okay, so that sticker kind of did stick on that just a little bit too much. So I did have to cut that off, which I've never had that happen, so that's interesting, but it's just the stick from the sticker. So I'm just going to kind of measure this and do it just a little bit bigger. I always do just a little bit bigger than a little bit bigger because measure twice, cut once. I'd rather cut it too long than too short because then there's an issue with that. So I don't have a sticker to put back on this to keep it on the roll, which is fine. If I got masking tape or painter's tape or something, it would do that. But I keep them in the bag, so that's not an issue, and they're perfectly sealed up in here. Set that aside. I'm going to get out my crinkly folder. So now I probably, excuse me, spoke too soon. And I probably need to order another one now, so I need to figure out where they are. Last time I looked on Amazon, they were fairly expensive and I wasn't in the mood for that. I need a groceries instead. So I've been on like a high buy ever since my birthday in July. And I'm really trying to cut that down, back down to a low buy until after the new year, because Christmas is coming and I always like to put some crafty goodies on my Christmas list. And I'll be purchasing for other people, such as my grandson. So that's more important. And I do have a hoard of crafting supplies here in my craft room. I mean, gosh, I have 2 closets in this room alone dedicated to crafting supplies, and one of those is just paper. So it's going to have to be a necessity. I really wish that Michaels would kind of get on the whole replacing what we lost from Joann's. I was there just the other day. Like, they've increased how it's easier to get coupons and the vouchers now. So I've been getting more of those. They've increased their ribbon. They have increased the fabric. So I'm really impressed with that. I know last year they were doing just a small little aisle of fabric. Now at my Michaels in Oceanside, California, they've increased it to like 2 or 3 aisles. I looked. The ribbon's much better, but it's some of the other crafting supplies that Joann's gave us, right, that they carried that I really miss, such as things like this for my mink, a lot of Tim Holtz stuff, which they really started getting rid of that, and they're just carrying their own Recollections brand, which is comparable, so I'm not mad at that. But I just wish they would start carrying these kinds of things so I don't have to order everything online. Although I do like ordering online too, but I do work right across the street from a Michaels. So if I just need one thing and I don't have to worry about trying to get free shipping, and you know how that goes. Okay, so this will come up. It's already cooled off. I am going to turn this off. And then... see, it was resting on my camera, so I will kind of resituate myself again. Sorry. Okay, so I seem to be having a little bit of technical difficulties. I apologize. I'm just going to keep going through it. I did move my mink off the table. And if you don't have like a whole lot of room where you craft, like I used to have like two of these tables. I have even set my mama mink on the ground before and crafted from there. I got the big mama mink because I do like how much I can craft on the surface area, and I do like that you can craft like full scrapbook pages. So I like the 12 by 12 aspect. These are really cute. Look at just how that turned out, if you can see it. Super, super pretty. Again, here's the waist. Save it, because you could do another one of these with a toner foiling sheet, which I do know Amazon sells as well, and I do have some of that in my stash. I'm probably not gonna foil this on camera now because of the issues I was just having with where my camera is located. Excuse me. I will foil that though and put that in my stash and probably make something else out of it, and then I'll post it on my Instagram. And that's so much glitter. What I do like to do with the 5x7 cards to make them a little bit more interesting is I like to break them up and not just do one solid piece, but I like to kind of meet the pieces together. I can never make them perfectly even, but let's see. This paper is 8 by 6. So it's just about, hold on. So it's like 5.75. So it's 8 inches by just under 6 inches, excuse me. My card, and let's look at the orientation I want to have it. I think I want to have it this orientation. And we're going to cut this down. So I'm going to cut this down first, set my things off to the side. I want to use this one because it really reminds me of outer space. set those aside. I'm probably going to, let's see, cut this down as close as I can get it. And then I might ink around it a little bit. Or get out my Crop-A-Dile, because now I have some empty space here, right? So I could cut this just so it's not so square if I wanted to do that. I have my Crop-A-Dile here. I have stub or scallop. I like the scallop side, so let's try that and just give it a little bit more style. Oh, so I cut off the B just a little bit, but that's okay. I think that's fine. I might ink that up or I might not, because these are so dark that this might just, that would probably look just fine with it like that, right? So let's just give it just a little bit more character, and we're gonna do 2.5. Each of them are going to be 2.5, and hopefully that's going to get as even as we can. I'm not like the greatest mathematician. I am noticing little deficits in this this trimmer scoreboard, and I've loved it for like a long time. But I'm noticing just a little bit of deficit in it with the measuring for some reason. But my Fiskars did that too, and my Fiskars did that because there was a little wire cord where you can see where you were cutting. That thing got in the way quite a bit. So I do like this. I could do just a little bit more white space in the middle of it so it does look pieced together, or I could do 4 squares and kind of have this over. So let's do the 4 squares. Okay, my battery did die, but when I kind of edit this together, you won't be able to notice. So then why aren't you editing out your technical difficulties? Because you know what? This is just part of crafting, and this is my self-care, so that's what I'm doing. I did, before I noticed that my battery had died, I did cut this down to make 4 squares as even as I could, and each square ended up being 3.25 by 2.25. So we have 2.25 by 3.25, just about. And then that ended up making a frame. I did ditch this because I realized when I flipped over the paper, because you see the paper is double-sided, that this made more of a full, complete picture of the same paper, so it wasn't too starkly different. So this could be like something you see, right, in outer space. Oh, and I want to kind of set that off to the side. I have my happy birthday there. I don't know if like I want to get a bow or a ribbon or something, but I want to find a sentiment that's going to go on the inside. Not just older, or not older, just better. 1 more year of experience. Sorry I missed your birthday. Hope your birthday is awesome. Hip hip hooray, it's your birthday. Birthday blessings, celebrate. I hope your birthday is awesome. I think let's do that one. And carefully trim this as close as I can get it without cutting anything off. And I have my other happy birthday sentiments kind of sitting off to the side, which I will put in my stash. And then that's going to go on the inside of my card. So I do want to keep this card fairly simple because I don't know if, I don't know who it's going to, and I tend to not like to personalize my cards until I know where it's going. So I like just to create a card. But I do have like the pink on the inside, so I'm thinking I want to ink this up with pink as well. And my pink ink is in the other room. But on the way out of the room, I saw this. This caught my eye, so I think I want to ink it up with the neon ink. It's Electropop. It's the Potent Purple. And this is kind of what it'll look like. And this is Gina K. This was designed by Rena K. I did get this quite a long time ago. So I don't know if they have this still in stock or not. You would have to go look on Gina K's website. I haven't purchased ink in quite a bit. So before I glue everything down and kind of make it its permanent home, I want to just ink up the edges. And I'm on purpose not going to be perfect with it because I kind of want the brightness to get in there, and I want to knock back some of that white space. And I figured that this Potent Purple, the neon, would go perfect with the outer space feel. So I do like that, just to add something a little bit fun and extra. And then I'm going to ink this up as well. It just kind of frames it in just a little bit better. And you still get the whole wow factor of the foil. So we're going to let the foil speak for itself on these cards. I like to do that with my foiling. I'm going to set this aside and I'm going to let that dry, and I'm going to put this as close to even as I can because it's not going to be perfect, but I did measure it. Remember the 2.5 by the 3.5 because this is a 5x7 card. I do really like the slickness of this paper. So I'm going to try to see, because my glue just kind of glides right over it. I do like that. I'm just going to make sure it gets down, wipe off any excess glue. And I was thinking that side of it would have been really cute, but then I put glue on it. So that's kind of where we are, and my head is going to bump the camera. I'm just going to set it like this, and I'm just kind of making it as even as I can. I know there's a bigger space over here. What I'm going to do to combat that, because you know not all crafters are perfect, is I am going to ink up the edges of the card as well. So that'll help with some of that white space, and that'll help with my uneven positioning to the eye. You won't be able to notice that unless if like you have like a ruler or something. And if somebody gets out a ruler for a card that you made them, I mean, you do you, but I wouldn't be giving that person a card anymore because they'll just get 99-cent Trader Joe cards or Dollar Tree cards from then on, if that's what they're going to do. Because I am not Hallmark. And I do not make these cards with a machine. I make them with my hands. So I'm just going to flip this over and kind of press it to make sure it gets there. I do have like a little press tool, but I think my cat was playing with it. And I hope that the unevenness, because this paper is so slick, it can move before it's fully adhered down. I'm just going to dab and go around the edges to kind of frame this card in a little bit and make the whole the inking make more sense on the sentiment. I think I'm going to pop up the sentiment because it's a happy birthday card. It's outer space. We want the foil to really wow the recipient when it comes out of the envelope. And if I just use a little bit of dimensional tape, it should not affect if it needs to be mailed or not. So I'm going to get that out. In my stash, and it fell in the back because I always keep it in the bag so I don't lose it. So I do use the World's Best Foam Tape from Pear Blossom Press. I really love this stuff. And I have tape scissors. I really like it because the backing releases really, really well. And it is permanent, but it's not permanent for a little bit. So I can reposition it if I do need to, because we see I do like make mistakes as I craft. So I have that option with it too. If I want to like really bump something up and make it really dimensional, I will double this up. And like stack it, but I think this is good. This has a really good thickness, if you can see. Like I like it. I think it's really good. I try not to make things too dimensional because, like I said, the shipping costs. So, and I'm just gonna kind of put this right in the middle-ish, as middle as I can get it. And I always like to look at it kind of from my straight on. I think that really helps. I'm not going to pop this up. I'm just going to glue this directly down. And then we have a full-fledged card with our Crafty Critta foil. I do hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys stick around and watch what I have coming up. I do have some exciting, fun things coming up. And I'm really sad to not be able to get my shipment of Crafty Critta in. But that is going to be a temporary issue for those of us in the US. But if you're not in the US, good news. You can get Crafty Critta mailed to you at their not lightning speed, but they have very fast shipping. Like nothing's lightning speed anymore shipping wise in 2025, right? So I will put my coupon code in there for you to save 5%. So that'll help offset any shipping costs that you may have to incur. And you will get to begin to use your goodies ASAP. So I hope you guys had a really good time sitting around the craft table today, crafting. And here is my finished product. And I love this foil. I thought this would be perfect because it kind of just, the way that this printing is, it kind of jumps off the page. I wanted to make it a little bit more interesting with the like make it a little window look. And then we open up. Hope your birthday is awesome. I'm going to stamp my homemade or my personalized stamp on the back. And let's just go over what the sentiments ended up looking like. I used for the sentiments the Rainbow Tight, and again for the happy birthday sentiments in different fonts, so that's a lot of fun too. I did use the Hearts Silver. Like I said, this could be used with anything you have in your stash, any foil supply companies that you have access to, and it's just a fun, simple project. I hope you have a great time, and if it's your birthday, happy birthday. Stay crafty, guys.